manifestation that you're looking for is the emotion. It truly is an emotion, because everything that you want is for the feeling. So when you manifest a positive emotion, when you think about your desire and you experience the manifestation of the positive emotion, then it's a done deal. You did it. You pretty much killed it. And we don't mean killing it as in a bad thing. We mean it's a done deal. It's coming now. But there's this human thing where you stand where you are and you're impatient because you're like, well, I know about the laws of the universe. I should be able to go all the way over there. You want to put like you want to put a motor on your boat when you want to get all the way to the end. You want to get all the way over there really quick. It's like, it's like you're in school and your teacher's reading a book and you read a chapter every day, but you're like, screw that, I don't want to wait, I'm impatient. I can read really well, so you go to the library and you rent out the book and you finish the whole book, and then you go to school the next day and you told your teacher like, hey, I already read the book. And your teacher's like, well, you still gotta enjoy every single chapter with us, because we're not gonna move on to the next book just because you already read it. And so that's what it's like when you come to these workshops and you understand law of attraction in a new way, and you understand that you can really create everything that you want. You get it in your head, you understand your power. And we're saying, well, there's also pleasure. Where there's pleasure, there's also power. But it's not like we're all playing the same game here. Everyone is playing the same game here. We all have to deal with it. It's like physics, it's the momentum. You can't just be where you are and get all the way over there, and it doesn't matter how good you feel, it doesn't matter what you know. And we know this sounds contrary, but we're gonna wrap it up, we're gonna clean it all up. You can't get all the way over there, and we're saying you don't even need to get all the way over there. You just need to go in that direction. You just need to, once you have the positive emotion, then the positive emotion is a platform, is a general platform. And as you focus on that platform, and as you congratulate yourself for the success of the emotion, which is really interesting, because when is an emotion successful? Because it's not successful until I can see it. We're saying, well, if you feel good about it, then it's pretty much it, because it's all you need in this now moment. It's your guidance telling you that you have it, because you can't see with your eye yet. You have to believe in your eye. You have to appreciate it right now as it stands right here. And we're going to really talk about this now moment in the continuum of every now moment. What do you do with this now moment now that you have it? Well, what do you do with this now moment? Because in standing in this now moment, you have this power. You understand law of attraction, and you're like, well, I should be able to go from poorness to richness like that. And we're saying, well, even if you were able to do that, even if you were able to hop all the way over there, you couldn't, because you can't release all of your resistance at once. Isn't that interesting? Because you can know all this stuff, but yet you still have resistance on all these paths. You can't really, no one can. It would be fatal to your entire planet if you could just drop resistance. And the only time that you can drop resistance so drastically and so fast all at once is in that one fell swoop when you die, when you reemerge back into your non-physical self. That's when you truly, so you can't really leave behind any resistance here. You can minimize it to the point where you can find the path of least resistance. It's not the path of no resistance, it's the path of least resistance. So you have your desires, right? And the most honest thing you can say is you don't have your desires. That's the most honest thing. We're saying no one gets points for being honest out here. No one gets points for being honest at all. And we're saying, well, if you have a strong desire, if you have a strong anything desire, that being, if you really want something and you really notice that you don't have it, then it really makes for a desire that doesn't go anywhere, because there's momentum is not at play. And usually when it's absent, you're dissatisfied, so you do more processes. And now we really want to talk about this now moment, because this now moment is really interesting, because in this now moment, you, as a human, when you understand law of attraction, the thing about law of attraction, understanding the art of allowing, is that, and how really how to manifest what you want, is that it's really different than what you were used to. Meaning, where you're used to being in school and you're used to, like, having a blank piece of paper and sitting before, and forcing your mind, eking every, like, oozing, dropping every idea out onto that page. You're so used to using your mind. We're saying is that the problem and the solution are in two different frequencies, and the problem is when you're offering the thought, and the solution is when you're receiving the thought. Albert Einstein said that. He said that solutions always come to you in the most mundane moments. It's kind of like that. That's what he meant. He was meaning to say, when you're in the replenishment mode, that's when all the solutions come to you, because because of how it feels. The replenishment mode feels good, when you're listening to music and walking, it feels good, but also you're not offering contradictory thought. You're not actually in the mode of thinking, you're in the mode of receiving. So that's what we want you to realize, is that humans, you love thinking, you love offering thought, but the thing about law of attraction is that it makes you sad, or a little bit angry, because you're like, wow, like, that really means I don't have power. Like, that really means I can't expect things, I can't force things into being, I can't yank, my desires. Like, there are fish out there, and I have a fishing rod, and I'm trying to yank them, and I'm trying to pull them, and I'm trying to reel them in, because if I don't, they're going to swim away. We're saying, well, that's not the case, because your inner being always has an eye on what you want. But it's more like, what it is? It's like, you just don't have the power that you think you have, which is, as humans, you're so used to thinking your way there, but we're saying it's not, you can't think your way there, you can only feel your way there, because you want to put a motor on your boat and get all the way over there, but we're like, you can't do that, because Because this is the part, right? So since you can't really do that, what can you do then? What can you do? And we're saying you can only do the only thing that you really need to do to have that fast manifestation experience, to go from that poor to richness, to really have that experience, because you need to lower your resistance. And the way that you do that literally is by making peace with where you are, is by realizing that, you know what, I don't have what I want, and that's okay. That's okay, because it's just temporary. It's just temporary. And it's you know what, it's like doing the process, and it's like, okay, I feel good. I have this positive emotion because, you know what, I feel good. And in general, I feel good about my desire. But now what? We're saying, well, then now what? It's like you get all this energy up, you use rampage, and you feel really good. And then you're like, well, now what? What do I do with all this information? What do I do with this new improved emotion? We're saying nothing. That's the thing. You don't do anything with it. There you go. You don't do anything with it because you're so used to being like, okay, like, now what do I do with this? Okay, now I know that I can create anything that I want. Now what do I do with it? Now what do I do with it? We're saying it's like you're getting into the action mode too fast. You're introducing the specifics too fast. You're trying to get the details down pat too fast. We're saying that's not your work. That's the thing. That's not your power. You're oriented that way because when you were a kid, you weren't like that. When you were a kid, you were a receiver. You understood receiving in its fullest form, because you weren't so obsessed with offering thought. You were so used to daydreaming and receiving thought, receiving. Because when you're offering thought, you can't receive a thought at the same time. And we're saying that when it's kind of like trying too hard. When you're doing all these processes, the thing is, you are where you are. This thing, everyone is tied to that physical like understanding. Is that you are where you are. But we're saying where you are doesn't really matter, because and it doesn't matter because if you feel good about where you are right now, then according to your guidance system, you're going in the direction. Where you go next is going to be where you want to go. And so, well, the human thing is to be, well, I feel good now, what do I do now? And we're saying, well, when you ask that question, what do I do now, you're in a state of dissatisfaction. You feel dissatisfied, and so you don't really go anywhere. That's the thing, is you really don't go anywhere. And why don't you really get anywhere? What is that about? And it's because you're not using your understanding of vibration to its fullest form, because you want to do something with it. You're like, what do I do about this? What do I do about this desire? What do I do about this? Because I know I have this entire list of processes that I could do, and I'm gonna talk about why I want it, and I'm gonna it's gonna feel so good. Why do I want the money? Because it's gonna feel so good. So let's do a demonstration. It's like, why do I want the money? Because it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel so good. It's gonna just feel fun. It's gonna be so nice to just like, and have no one to answer to enjoy my life, to just have the freedom to buy whatever I want, to enjoy the textures of everything I'm gonna buy, to enjoy buying food, and to just love a life in a completely different way, because money is so portable, and it just feels so satisfying, and it feels so rich, and it feels so good. And then you get to that positive emotion, and then you're like, now what do I do with that? What do I do with the positive emotion? Because I feel good about money, but I still, when I look around, the money hasn't changed. So now that I'm dissatisfied about my financial situation, then I doubt, one, I either doubt the process, or two, I doubt where I'm going. And we're saying, well, that's the thing, is that you have to allow. It's kind of like surrendering, but even in surrendering, it's not really like surrendering. It's your power. Your power is allowing. Your power is not in coming up with solutions. Your power is in preparing your frequency, preparing your receptive mode, preparing your vibration to receive the big stuff, to receive the answers. That's crazy. That's your true power. Your true power, we're gonna say that again. Your true power as a creator, and what really makes the big things come, and what makes things come quick, to like the avalanches that we're talking about, where like your life just goes 360. The way that really happens is because you know what's interesting, how that happens. Well, this is actually really crazy. And whoa, okay, it's like your power isn't in your being able to offer that and do a process and get all the way over there. It's not like that. Your real power comes in standing where you are, being satisfied with where you are, being satisfied with the positive emotion that this process gave you, and that's it. Because you're just going with the flow. You're allowing. What are you allowing? You're allowing the law of attraction to do the work. You're allowing the well-being to do the rest of the work. Someone will be like, well, you need to keep doing it. You need to keep repeating, keep going. What we're saying is that like you would just shoot yourself in the foot, because if it doesn't feel good when you do it, and if you don't, because all your work is just to feel good, and once you feel good, then you're good, because now you don't have to do anything. I think that's what we're saying, is that when you're trying to do something, you're noticing that it's absent, and then you practice the absent, and so you never really get to the end. And that's what we're saying. That's why no one really gets anywhere. No one really gets the results that they want, off into the bushes, because we're really going to the leading edge. We're really talking about what it means to be vibrational in a human world, and what it means to reorient yourself to be the vibrational version. You have to allow, and allowing is kind of like surrendering. And because you've heard surrendering from a lot of other teachers and a lot of other disciplines, and surrendering is the root of surrendering is like having faith. It's just being where you are and just not going out and doing any action, and just chilling and knowing and just chilling and being like, because that's where the power is. Because when you're chilling, when you're just like, yeah, I feel good with money, that's it. Like, that's all you gotta do. And then at one point it's like, well, it's almost like, well, that's really all I gotta do. Like, are you really telling me that all I have to do is just feel good about it? And then I just naturally go there? And we're like, yeah, because literally, like, if you feel good about it, and if you don't contradict it, even if you don't think about it again, you're gonna go to where you want to go, because your desires are already inevitable. It's like everything's being broadcasted to you. Everything is being broadcasted to you, and you're trying to use your action, but we're like, all you have to do is just tune into the frequency. And at first, when you tune into the frequency, your first sign of the manifestation, your first manifestation is that emotional manifestation, is that harmony that you feel when you're on the right channel, or that disharmony when you're on the wrong channel. That's how you know that you're on the right channel. This is crazy, because when you tune to that channel, you're gonna get an emotion that tells you, is this channel the right channel or the wrong channel? And if it's on the right channel, then it's gonna feel good. And positive emotion, the manifestation has come in the positive emotion. That's a real manifestation. Once you feel positive emotion, then the manifestation is literally so close. It's so fast. And the reason why you're not experiencing that, the reason why it's not fast, is because you're trying to get to the end too fast. It's like, I already read the book, I already know how it ends. What we're saying is that you know how it ends, so now you can chill out more. If anything, you have more of a credence to just sit where you are and just chill and play the game differently than everyone else, because now you're not trying to run around. Now you know that the real prize is the emotion. The real reason why you want the money is for the feeling of the freedom. And so you have that freedom already, and you have that feeling of alignment already. That's what fills the hole. And the hole isn't really filled with the dollars. And because when you fill it with emotion, when you fill it with alignment, then them dollars come as a way to prove it to you, to indicate to you. Because we're telling you, you just gotta be satisfied with where you stand. You gotta be satisfied and ready for more. And in being satisfied, you're not impatient, because you're like, well, I can't be anywhere else. So I can be here right now. I can't rush to the end, but I just feel good about my desire. I feel good about my desire, and that's all that matters. And we're saying that all really is all that matters, because it happens fast. It's instant because you just have to tune into it. But your ability to tune into it is all about your ability to stay on that channel and not basically do the thing that introduces resistance, which is offer a thought. Because usually when you're offering a thought, you're trying to get, it's like, it's literally like you read the book and you know how it ends. So it's like, you're like, oh, I feel good about this desire. Now I'm gonna get to the end. It's coming tomorrow. And so, but it doesn't, you can't sustain those frequencies. It doesn't matter how good you are. No one can defy the laws of the universe. And so we're like, you really just gotta, be that expert you are. You gotta know the book, but you still gotta enjoy every single chapter with everyone else. And it's like that too. You still stand where you are, and you just gotta get over the absence. You just gotta get over the absence of what you want, because it's really what's stuck in your craw. It's like, it's stuck in your vibration. It's the reason why it's like your block. It's your hindrance. We're saying it doesn't really have to be, because when you realize it's all just temporary, because you already felt the emotion, but you're looking at it and you can't be anywhere other than now. But it doesn't really matter, because like, who really cares? Because you can feel good, and really that's really crazy, because that's what unconditional alignment truly is. That's how you really get everything you want, because where you are right now doesn't bother you so much, because where you're going is so much more, because you can change how you feel right now. So it's like, yeah, I don't have any money, cool, like I literally don't have any money, so whatever, like I'm seeing right now, it's temporary reality. And like, it feels so nice to just be rich. It feels so nice to know the richness that I truly am, to go general and just to find my connection again. And then it's like, now you're going with the flow, and now you have to get the money. You have to get the money, unless you get upset that you don't see the money yet. Because when you get upset that you don't see the money yet, then the money can't come. And so friends, you just want to continue on doing what you're doing, because you can't get rid of resistance. That's not the work. The work isn't to get rid of all your resistance. The work is to follow along with the tune of your inner being, so that you get led to the path of least resistance, and you take it easy, chill out. You're doing a good job.